So I finally got my low profile CPU cooler. I feel like I'm piecemealing this computer because I had to cancel the whole Amazon order that I did. So I got a different cooler, and then they changed the price on the memory. So I just went ahead and canceled it because for the same price I could just go for the 48, which this motherboard uses 248s or 148 on each slot. So let me take this out, and it's a pretty hefty box. So let's see what we got here. And this one actually got shipped. The other stuff just never shipped for whatever reason. So we have the that's the model number right there. It's from Thermalright. I went for the full copper version of the cooler. This one's, I think, 47, no, I forgot what the height is, but I think it's gonna be low enough for it to work. It's a little thicker than the original that I was gonna get, so that's pretty much it on that. And let me see, those are the specs right there. Give me a sec. So 94 by 95 by 38. The height is 38. 6 millimeter heat pipes, 4 units, pure copper heatsink. Here's what I was looking at. The thermal capacity is 155, and the CPU is like 140 or 130, I forget. So that's the bad thing about having to get your own cooler, because you gotta make sure you kind of match that. So here is the cooler. I wanted the copper version, so you can see. So it was a little more expensive, but I figure it's the first time I wanted to splurge on something like this, so since I had to get a new one. So let's take a look. And then I didn't measure it because I was looking at the measurements from this. I didn't want to block the card part over here, so I'll do a dry install. I'm not gonna put the what do you call it, the paste on it, because I just want to see how it fits. Since I still have to get the memory, that's the last thing I need to find. Now the DDR5 memory, it's all over the place. It's really expensive, so I'm just gonna wait. So this thing is just gonna have to wait until I can find something. There's just gotta see if they'll have some specials on Amazon with the what is it, Prime specials, or Newegg, or whoever has them. So basically this is the 1700 already on there, so I just kind of want to put it here just to see. So that's a pretty good height. I think that's gonna fit, but I gotta install it and then kind of see if it's gonna be okay on the case. So this is perfect. It's right above the capacitors. Doesn't touch anything here, and as you can see, the memory is still free for me to install it, so that's great. And my concern was right here where the card goes. So there's a 120 millimeter what do you call it, fan. So I'm just kind of lining the holes up over here just to give you an idea of this part. See, it's still free because that card is actually, I might as well take it out. and see if we can still install it with the cooler on. Okay, cart is installed. Cooler is aligned with the holes right there. So it's perfect. I still have, I don't know, maybe 8 millimeters in between that. So that's looking good. I have space here. Let's take a look at the bottom. Bottom looks really nice. Right there. That's what the side looks like. The other side. So far, I'm liking it. This is a 4-pin. These are 4 pins, so that fan is the CPU fan. So perfect. Now, which way does it go? I'm not sure, but this is lengthwise here, so might be this way. Again, I haven't put I guess let's take a look at this box, see what we got here. So these are the other adapters for AM, what is it, AM4 or AMD. Hey, you get some paste on it. That's cool. So they give you that. A couple of thumb screws. These are pretty short ones. And here we have the other brackets, and does it say AMD? No, they just have these squares. So you got 2 big ones and 2 small ones. And then we have this bracket, which says AM4 right here. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to install it on the Intel, because I'm not seeing anything else. That's interesting. So I have a nice hole over here. Alright, let me get this out. So do I need to put this one on the back in order to screw it on, because without it you can't do it. So this is gonna go okay. So it looks like, yeah, this has to go on it. So there's the paper. Yeah, it says 1217 LGA. So I guess it's the same bracket. This one is the one that aligns on that. Interesting. So I still have to figure out how I'm going to install this. But it looks like that. That's how it goes. Because that's why it lines up with these holes. And where does this screw on? Okay, that's too small. So this is the tool. So I guess these are the ones you use. Or maybe. These are supposed to screw on here, but these look just as small as that, so that makes no sense. I can't screw in anything on here because these things are too big. I mean, the holes are too big. So what gives? And these are just the same thing. These are just longer. So it's the same thing and some nuts. Now let's take a look. Alright, so AMD LGA 15115X. So that's what these are for. So I'm not gonna need those. And then what else we got? So these and those are for these brackets. Okay. So what do we use for the these? 15x, 1200, 1700. Let's skip that. What's in the back? The back is AMD 1700. Install black plate. Oh, this is just the Chinese version. Okie dokie. So we don't want that. We don't need that. We just need this one. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So this one is thicker. I didn't notice that. So that's my fault. But following this, now do I put the long ones or the short ones? It's another good question. It says long. Screws B4. Okay, B4 are the short with the nuts. Okay, so that's not it. Come on. Alright, you're seeing it live. Let's see, is this the right size? Yes. But I'm going to use some thread lock. You probably don't need it, but I don't want those getting loose later. Not that they would, but it's not gonna hurt anything. And just snug them down with your fingers. No need to go caveman on these. Alright, so we learned something new there. The back is the right size for that. Whoa, don't do that. Okay, one more. It already comes with the 1700 bracket, so just adding those there. Let's do that. So it calls for the short one, but I want to add some thread lock on this one as well. Okay, get rid of that plastic. As I figured, this were not gonna be tight, and you definitely want them snug. Not crazy tight, but we do want to make sure those stay in place. Nice and snug. I want to make sure that heat gets transferred. And if these are loose, I'm probably not going to get that. So okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and install it or test fit it now. Again, I'm just going with the length on this, and the fan is over here, CPU fan, so I'm going to flip this. We're gonna go with that. So this is supposed to just go in here. Okay, doesn't look like that's gonna work. The holes are a little off, so it's gotta go sideways, which is kind of odd since this is going across the CPU this way. But that's what it's looking like. Is that gonna line up? No. Okay, that's not lining up either. So keep going around. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't line up. What gives? Alright, it says 1700 on it. Come on, dude. I have to like, well, shouldn't have to force it. Well, it's not lining up. As you can see, I'll even show from here, this side right here. It's easier to see. So that hole is not lining up with this hole. If I go this way, that barely lines up. What the heck? Everything's where it should be. So let's see, if this is there, can I move this forward? Let's find out. I don't think so, but can only move. Well, let's loosen it up and see. Yeah, that's not. Okay, that's not fitting right. What the heck? Okay, that looks like it fit a little bit. It's kind of tight, but let's see, maybe I can do it. It's weird. Well, it only goes one way, so it shouldn't matter on here. Okay, nice and snug. Don't want to mess with that too much. Yeah, that's kind of whack. Well, let's see, does this fit? Okay, that fits, sort of. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Oh, that's the 1500. Alright, install screws before 17 brackets, apply thermal grease on CPU, install heatsink on CPU, 4 screws through the motherboard mounting holes, which is that. 1700, yes. Install backplate from back side of motherboard. Backplate AM4 side faces the motherboard, which is that side, so that's correct. And then use included tool to secure nuts and screws if there is motherboard component interference with backplate. Flip the backplate with 1115X side face motherboard. Switch short screws on bracket to long screws. So only if you have a problem with that. However, just let me see how these brackets fit. Oh, that actually seems to be the right bracket. for this one. The heck? It says 1700 on this one, so am I going to need the different bracket? Yeah, that looks right. Alright, let's test this out. Sorry about the long video, but I'm not going to start forcing anything in there. It just makes no sense that the 1700 doesn't actually fit. So, yeah. Oh, there you go. They have the same icons on the bottom there. It's like a face. This one doesn't have a number. This one says 1700. This is supposed to be the correct one, but this is the one that fits. So we're gonna swap them. That is weird, man. Okay, so this goes up like that. So the icon goes down like that. Excuse me. So we're gonna swap these for that one. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's never gonna fit. Don't ever try to force these because it's not gonna work. Even though that says 1700. So this is totally wrong. So let me start over. Alright, this is gonna be fun. Okay, let's not lose the screws. I need to magnetize this puppy. I don't want to lose my screw. Alright, there we go. Well, learned something new today. These are the wrong ones. Even though it actually says they are the right one. So I thought this were supposed to be the AM4, but they are not. I put in this right. Let's see. I think so. I mean, I don't think it matters, but I'm looking at the where you actually screw it on there, so that looks right. That's the what do you call it? The chamfer on it. So far it looks right. Is it? Where's the other one? Those are the same thing. Okay. Keep going. Okie dokie. Let's try these again. Originally it says to use the short one, but we're about to find out if this is going to be okay or not. Oh, okay, wait. Oh crap, I put the wrong side on there. Thought that looked funny. I thought that looked funny. Sort of stamped, but that's the part that comes out of it. So that's my fault. Okay, let's do that. Get the right one on it. Okay, you kind of have to do it this way because you can't get your finger in there to line it. Okay. But that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, let's keep going. So it's fine to try this dry first before you put anything on the any of the paste, or you'll have a nice mess on your hands. You're just going to need a little cleaning. Alright, let's try this again. And it should line up lengthwise with the CPU. I think this is going to work now. So I'm going to try that this way. So I'm going to line it, even though this is bigger than the CPU, but it shouldn't be at a 90-degree angle, because then you're going to be way off. And look at that. That actually works. Except for, no, that actually works. Thought the screws were going to be, well, let's find out. I'm going to need the longer screws. Okay, what do we got here? AMD goes down. I just want to see if there's going to be enough space for the nuts with the short ones, and I think it will be. If I can get it on there. They're the same. There's no up or down on it. Alright, so I don't know why I stopped recording, but as I was saying, I put the card on here. This is a 94 or 92 by 92 millimeter fan. Anything bigger, you may hit your card. I don't know when that stopped recording, so let me backtrack a little bit here just to show you what I just did. The brackets that say 1700 are too big, so those are the wrong ones. And you gotta get the second largest one. These are the smallest, so it's, I guess, the middle one. That's the one that fit on the holes exactly. And I only have 2 nuts over here put on it. You still have to use this bracket in order to hold that. And other than that, just don't force it. If these holes don't line up, which they don't, as you can see here, try the other brackets. Even though This one says 1700 is the wrong one. The 1700s are the other ones that are on there. As you know, this is a 1700 CPU. So the fan or the so I'm happy with the this cooler because it's not too big, but it's the right one for this CPU. This one has, what was it? I keep losing the 155 watt thermal capacity. The CPU is like one. Alright, I changed the battery. I charged a different battery, a new one that I had, so hopefully I can get this on the video. I don't know how much I got before it shut off on me. So on the prior videos I was talking about the new cooler that I got. The brackets that are on here are the 11115X, I believe. The 1117s are bigger than these holes, so even though they say 1700X, they're the wrong one, so you gotta go down on the next one down, and these fit perfectly. So I'm going to put it this way because I can wrap around the connector this way since it's on this side, and then this bottom piece actually goes along the CPU here. You don't want it at 90 degrees because then you won't cover it. So I already put some thread lock on these, just snug them with my fingers, and now everything fits. So I'm going to install it since I have access to the memory because the fan does not block that, so I am gonna go ahead and do it. I don't need to, but one item I have left is the what do you call it, the memory. Since I canceled it because they changed the price on the 32 gigs that I had, it was like $21, then all of a sudden it went to 64 or whatever, and at that price you might as well look for the 48 gigs. Now the prices on those on DDR5 is just ridiculous right now, so it looks like I might have to wait a little longer until I can either find some specials or somebody has better pricing on those. But it's like, I don't know, this thing's been like piecemealing one piece at a time, so just the worst in terms of the parts. But anyway, I like the size of these. It doesn't cover everything. It doesn't come over to where this PCI connector is, so it fits perfectly. Another thing I should mention, they do include a Thermalright. That's the brand. They give you some thermal paste, but as you can see I got my own, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Thought it was dirty there, but anyway, so a lot of people put an X or just a little bit on the paste. You definitely want to cover the whole CPU because you want a nice even coating throughout the whole CPU, not just an X where it smashes and you're not gonna get a good thermal transfer that way. So let me see. Let me mix this up a bit. Just make sure we get a nice consistency, which is the reason I like it. It has a nice consistency, to be honest. Actually, I need a napkin, so hang on a second. Alright, let me try and do this as cleanly as possible, which it's probably pretty impossible, but we'll go ahead and try it. So it's kind of nice to have that little what do you want to call this, plastic spreader. And Having this sort of raise actually makes it easier to install it, as you can see here. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing because I do want to get a nice layer. Not too thick, but definitely a little bit of thickness, so that it will at least transfer as much of the heat as possible. Remember, this is going to get squished, but I just want to make sure there's enough to cover the whole CPU. Alright, well, that looks good to me. It's not overly done, but enough to make sure there is some coverage. I gotta say, this is the first time and the easiest time I've ever had that go that smoothly. Let me make sure I got some in there. Don't want to leave it too thin in some places, but okay. Spreader actually works pretty nice, so I like that. And you can dab it up like this as well if you want to make sure to build it up, or if you want to build it up. So looks good to me. Just want to make sure I have thermal paste on the whole CPU. Obviously it doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of want to get a nice even coat all over it. And now I'm just making a mess, so we're gonna call it there. And as you can see, I'm just using the spreader. You can use your fingers too, but that looks good to me. Try and get the excess over here. Don't want to go too crazy and waste everything, because you don't actually need that much, to be honest. As long as it's covered, we are good. Make sure this is nice and close. Now this is the tricky part next, because it will move a tiny bit, but we also have this bracket that we need to install from the back. So once I put it on here, I already know which side I have it laying down on the side that I want to go. So you can see we're going to go this way, and 2 holes on the bottom, and then the top ones, and that keeps it in place, which is nice. But this is the tricky part, because now I have to work from this side here, and it does move, but it's just very small amount. You want to be careful with this tiny resistors. Unfortunately, it's gonna move. Not much you can do about it. So AMD, it's right there. That goes to the bottom, and they have plastic pieces here, depending on which side you have it. This is plastic if you flip it. That's if it's they tell you to flip it if there's interference with some of the components, but for the 11 or 1700, this is pretty much all we need to do here. As you can see, it was already coming out because kind of moved a little bit, but it should be fine because it's not moving what do you call it, up and down. It was probably moving in and out like from it. So there, might be a little bit of a different spot there, but overall should be fine. Okay, so what I'm noticing right now is that I have an extra on, so that's kind of nice that they include that. So see, you can move it right here. I just wanted to show you that, but you can move. So right now I'm just gonna kind of snug them just a little bit, and that's why they give you this thumb tool. The reason I want to do that is because I want to look on the other side and make sure that I move it towards that side so I can leave enough room here. So I just moved just a tiny bit. Shouldn't be a problem since I have enough thermal space there, so I kind of moved by itself. So now I can go ahead and one, two, 3, 3. I can feel it getting tighter there. So that's what you want. You just want to feel it where it's starting to get snug. 4, see right there? It's nice and snug. 4, 4, 4. It's snug right there. 5, 5, 5. Those are already snug. That one. Okay. I need to get a little bit on this. These are done. You can keep going, but you don't want to do that because then I can feel these are nice and snug. The reason you don't want to keep going is because you do have space to go more, but then you start bending the board and we don't want to do that. So right now, that's as far as I want to go. If you keep going, you can probably break that. I mean, I don't want it too tight, but I don't want to lose either. I want to make sure it's plenty of contact there. I think that's good. I can see it bending a little bit. Do I want to leave it that way, or do I want to bring it back? Let me see. Okay, that went back a bit. That went back. So we're going to go back just a bit. I just don't want to put too much pressure on the board. You do want some pressure. Right now, you can see it doesn't move. Let me see. Actually, I can still move it, so yeah, let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it where it's nice and snug. You can feel it. You can go by feel. After that, there's space, but you don't want to go any more than that. You can definitely feel it once it's nice and snug. Even though there's still space, don't go past that feeling right there. And now I know it's secure. Thermal paste should be on there, so it's all good. Now I can bring this over, and that's the reason I put it on this side, because the connector is right here. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Do that, and then this can come around here. And well, it's not the prettiest thing, but you can use a wire tie on here, and then kind of keep it that way from like just being all over the place. Anyways, I know this is, you know, just some old boring stuff we've seen before, but I just kind of want to show you the part that this new coolers are kind of Not like before where you just plop them in, they go right into the holes and they don't actually move, but it is what they are. Where's our card? Let me see. And just to show you one last time, because I don't know if I recorded this before, but I hope it's not too boring. So let's go ahead and do this. Here's my 10 gigabit card. So you can see there is space right here, which is just right, just the right amount of space, because the card does come through here. So if you have, this is a 90, what was it, 94.5 by 95 millimeter heatsink or fan. It says heatsink, but I'm trying to see where it says fan over there. So here are the specs. I think I showed that before. Dimensions is 92 by 92. So this is the fan right here. It looks like it. Yep, that's the fan specs. There we go. So it's a 92 by 92, and that fits perfectly here. And I don't have it over the memory as well, so I'm able to put in the memory. That's why I went ahead and just install it now, because I have room for the memory and I have room for the 10 gigabit card on here. So definitely make sure you measure this. I did use a ruler to kind of see how far I wanted to go that way. So it was sort of a guess by just using a ruler, but it turns out this is perfect, because you can see there is that nice even space. I mean, I have, let me see here, there is about 5 millimeter spacing between the card and the fan here. Yeah, exactly about 5. So I'm happy with that. It's looking good, and I do believe there's going to be enough space with this one, but that's the other thing. I got to get the NAS and sort of put this on the side to make sure that this is going to fit in there, because there's like very low height on that NAS. So that's the other thing I have to, or the other part I have to work with. So it's almost done. I'm almost there. I do need the memory, but again, just one of those things that I gotta wait and see. But I hope that helps. I do like the copper heatsink. It's not too tall. It's supposed to be about, what was it? I want to say 47, 53. I think it's 53 millimeters. I have heats in size, but the overall, I think, is on the page. So if anybody wants to know which one it is, I'll be more than happy to add the link where to the one I got on Amazon. I just went through the list and just kind of look around at the specs and then the sizes, and that's pretty much it. So I hope that helps, and let's keep this short. Alright, so I got the NAS out to check on the height of the new cooler. So the motherboard, the old one, is right about there, and you can see that I have just the right amount of space. But let me move it this way so you can see. Let me see, it's right there. The old CPU fan is a tiny bit shorter. I'd say, well, maybe about 10 millimeters shorter. So not a tiny bit, but the good news is that these will work. This anything higher you don't want, because then you won't have a lot of space over here, but I will have plenty of space with this cooler. So everything so far, it's looking good. Even if I put it on the edge here, I still have airspace here where I can get some more air into the CPU. So I'm happy. You know, it's just one of those things. I was looking at the height, and there's another one that's like 32, but the TDP was 95 only. So this one was a little taller, I think, 53 maybe, or something, somewhere in there. So that's why I went with it. The more you have, the better the dissipation is going to be anyway. So there you go. Another thing I forgot to mention with the covering the whole CPU, the reason you want to do that is because you saw when I moved, there's going to be plenty of thermal paste on there. So, you know, we only moved just a couple of millimeters, but because it's all covered, so you should be fine. And once you snug these down, you want to make sure they're snug, because as you noticed on the video before, they were a little loose, but you don't want them loose either, because you want to make sure there's transfer or heat transfer away from the CPU. If it's too loose, it's not going to do anything. Obviously, you don't want to over tighten this, because then you can break your board. So just by hand, you know, with this tool that they give you, and that's why it's a thumb, I don't know what they call it, a thumb thumb tool. No, it's not a thumb tool. It's a, I want to say thumb socket. There we go. It's a thumb socket. That's what I'll call it. So once it's nice and snug, you know there's a nice even pressure there. So thermals should be fine. But I'm happy I can show you now with the NAS open that there is just the right amount of space for this to work. So I'm happy I don't have to send anything back. I just gotta wait. I did also order a heatsink for the NVMe just to try them out. Normally I don't need, like in an open space like this, it should be fine. I just thought I'd get one just to see if that helps any more than what it is, because you have air around it, so it should be fine for the most part. I just thought I'd try that since I never bothered to do that before, and I have the space on here, so we're gonna do that. And just the memory, and it's almost there, and I'll be a happy camper. So there you go, just another quick look at the last part of the update here. I do have the 400 watt Apevia. It's upside down, so I have to read it. That's what I got last time. It worked fine. It should still work fine. They do have a 500. If you just want to play it safe, just go to the 500, but this one's been fine too. It's just, they're just going to use whatever they're going to use. It's not going to max it out at that wattage, because again, this is just a file server. It's not always on. I only turn it on when I need it. But transfers have been pretty slow, so it's definitely time to get those updates going. So there you go.